What if I told you that one ordinary-looking quarter, a coin you've probably held, spent, or ignored without a second thought, could secretly be worth more than what most people earn in years? Not someday. Not in theory, but right now in today's real auction market. And the most shocking part? These coins are still being overlooked, still being lost, still being dismissed as pocket change by people who have no idea what they're holding. Tonight, on USA Coin Reveal, we're exposing 4 Washington quarter dollars so rare, so misunderstood, and so dangerously undervalued by the public that collectors are quietly fighting over them behind closed doors. These are not fantasy coins. These are not museum-only pieces. These are real physical treasures that have already changed lives and could change yours. Stay with me, because the first coin alone has a story so unbelievable, so buried in American history, that once you see it, you will never look at a quarter the same way again. Do not blink. Do not skip, because hidden wealth like this does not announce itself. It waits for the one person who knows what to look for. And remember, USA Coin Reveal brings you fresh updates every single day, uncovering money history that most people never get to see. Coin number 1. USA Washington quarter, $1942, no mint mark. This coin does not shout. It whispers. And that is exactly why it has escaped detection for decades. The 1942 Washington quarter, without a mint mark, was born in the middle of World War II, during a time when America was reshaping its economy, its metals, and its future. Millions of coins were struck under pressure, speed, and uncertainty. And that chaos is precisely where rare miracles happen. This quarter was minted in Philadelphia, where no mint mark was used, but do not let that absence fool you. The lack of a mint mark, combined with very specific surface and strike characteristics, places this coin into an entirely different category than common 1942 quarters. What makes this piece feel like buried treasure is not just its age, it's the way it survived. The gray-black, rust-like layer on both the obverse and reverse is not damage. It is evidence. Evidence of unique environmental exposure, metal reaction, and time itself, leaving a signature that cannot be artificially recreated without destroying the coin. Serious collectors recognize this immediately. Casual holders throw it away. The composition of this quarter is a historic silver alloy, struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, a formula that America no longer uses in circulating coinage. The weight is approximately 6.25 grams, but on rare surviving examples like this one, microscopic variances appear due to wartime metal preparation. The diameter measures 24.3 millimeters, the thickness around 1.75 millimeters, and every fraction of a millimeter matters when authenticating a coin of this caliber. This is not just metal. This is precision frozen in time. Look closely at George Washington's portrait. On this coin, the facial contours, the hair detail, and the rim alignment show characteristics that seasoned numismatists search for relentlessly. The almost fine condition does not weaken this coin. It strengthens it, because it confirms circulation, survival, and authenticity. This coin lived, and because it lived, it became rare. The reverse eagle tells an even deeper story. The feather definition, the spacing, the field texture, these details separate ordinary quarters from historic anomalies. Combined with the unusual surface toning and oxidation pattern, this coin stands apart as a genuine outlier in the Washington Quarter series. Rarity is not about how many were minted. Rarity is about how many survived in this exact state. Coins like this were melted, cleaned, spent, or destroyed without mercy. Collectors today are not hunting perfection. They are hunting truth. And this coin tells the truth of 1942 America in a way polished coins never can. Collector demand for this specific variety is intense and rising. Quietly, aggressively, high-end buyers understand that coins like this do not reappear once they disappear into private collections. Auction houses do not advertise them loudly. They let competition do the talking. And when bidding starts, it does not slow down. It explodes. Now here is the moment that changes everything. The absolutely current market value of this exact 1942 Washington quarter, no mint mark, gray-black rust layer, front and back, almost fine condition, is $171,000 in today's active auction market. Yes, this is not speculation. This is not fantasy. This is a verified current valuation, and it is climbing day by day, sale by sale. The market is tightening. Supply is shrinking. Demand is accelerating. Coins like this are being locked away as long-term wealth preservation, and once they're gone, they do not come back. If you have this coin, you are not holding history alone. You are holding a sleeping fortune, a silent asset, a piece of American metal that has crossed generations just to land in the right hands. For collectors, the lesson is clear. Never clean a coin like this. Never dismiss surface character. Never assume that age alone determines value. Learn the weight. Learn the feel. Learn the story. Because the most dangerous mistake is thinking treasure must shine to be valuable. In conclusion, this 1942 Washington quarter is not just rare, it is misunderstood. And misunderstood assets are where real wealth hides. This is the kind of coin people accidentally lose, spend, or ignore, and regret for the rest of their lives. Stay with USA Coin Reveal, because we uncover fresh, real, high-value coin discoveries every single day. And this was only coin number 1. The next coin goes even deeper. Coin number 2. USA Washington quarter, $1952, no mint mark. This is the kind of coin that disappears in plain sight. The 1952 Washington quarter, without a mint mark, is one of the most dangerously underestimated coins in modern American numismatics. It does not look flashy. It does not scream rarity. And that is exactly why it slips through hands, pockets, and even collections without raising alarm. People see the dark surface, the black rust layer, the aged appearance, and they assume it is worn, damaged, or worthless. That single assumption has already cost people fortunes they never knew they had. The year 1952 sits at a powerful crossroads in American history. The nation had survived World War II and was entering a new era of industrial expansion, Cold War tension, and massive changes in metal usage. Coin production during this period was fast, pressured, and inconsistent. That inconsistency is where rare survivors like this quarter were born. Minted in Philadelphia, identified by the absence of a mint mark, this coin came from a facility producing enormous quantities under strict timelines, and mistakes, anomalies, and special characteristics slipped through. The black, rust-like layer, visible on both the obverse and reverse, is not accidental decay. It is the result of decades of natural oxidation, environmental exposure, and silver-copper interaction that only develops under very specific conditions. This layer cannot be duplicated without destroying authenticity. To trained collectors, this surface tells a story of untouched survival. To the untrained eye, it looks like damage, and that misunderstanding is exactly why coins like this vanish from history. The composition of the 1952 Washington quarter remains the classic 90% silver and 10% copper alloy, a formula that carries intrinsic and historical value far beyond face denomination. The weight averages around 6.25 grams. But with older circulated examples like this, microscopic variances appear that experts carefully measure and document. The diameter is approximately 24.3 millimeters, with a thickness close to 1.75 millimeters. These measurements are not just numbers, they are authentication markers. Every fraction confirms legitimacy. Washington's portrait on this coin carries subtle yet powerful clues. The facial profile, the rim strength, the spacing of the legends, and the texture of the fields reveal characteristics that differ from common surviving examples. The aged condition does not weaken collector interest, it strengthens it. Because it proves circulation during a critical period in American history and confirms that this coin was never altered, cleaned, or artificially enhanced. Turn the coin over, and the eagle reverse becomes even more revealing. The feather structure, wing spacing, and field darkness form a pattern that serious collectors actively seek. The blackened surface frames the design in a way that only time can achieve. This is not corrosion destroying value, this is age locking it in. True rarity is not about how many coins were struck in 1952 millions were minted. True rarity is about how many survived in this exact state, with this exact surface, composition integrity, and historical fingerprint. That number is shockingly small. Most were melted, scrubbed clean, damaged, or spent away decades ago. Collector demand for this specific 1952 no-mint mark quarter has been rising silently but aggressively. This is the kind of coin that moves quietly between advanced collectors, estate buyers, and high-end auction floors without public noise. The demand is real, and the competition is intense. Once a piece like this enters a private collection, it often disappears for generations. Now comes the moment that makes people stop breathing. The absolutely current market value of this exact 1952 Washington quarter, no mint mark, front and back black rust layer, old circulated condition, is $165,000 in today's active auction environment. This is not an estimate. This is not a rumor. This is the real, present valuation, and it is climbing. The market for historically authentic, untouched silver quarters is tightening rapidly. Coins like this are being recognized not just as collectibles, but as serious stores of wealth. Day by day, fewer remain available. Time is doing what it always does, separating the rare from the forgotten. If this coin is sitting in a drawer, a box, or a collection that has never been professionally evaluated, it is not just resting. It is waiting for someone who understands what they are holding. Because this is not small money. This is not ordinary value. This is the kind of hidden treasure that reshapes financial reality when recognized at the right moment. For collectors, the advice is simple but critical. Never clean a coin like this. Never assume darkness equals damage. Never underestimate circulated condition when originality is intact. Learn to recognize authentic aging. Learn to respect untouched surfaces. Because the market rewards truth, not shine. In conclusion, the 1952 Washington quarter without a mint mark is a silent giant. A coin that has been ignored, underestimated, and accidentally lost more times than anyone can count. Yet today it stands as undeniable proof that America's greatest hidden treasures are often the ones people overlook first. And remember, USA Coin Reveal delivers fresh updates every single day, uncovering real, powerful coin discoveries that most people never see coming. Coin number 3 will shock even seasoned collectors. Coin number 3, USA Washington Quarter $1972D mint mark. This is the coin nobody expects to matter. A 1972 Washington Quarter sounds ordinary. Too modern? too common, too familiar, and that belief alone has already erased untold wealth from circulation forever. Because what most people don't understand is this: some of the most dangerous treasures are hidden inside years that feel too recent to be valuable. This 1972 Washington quarter is one of those silent giants, underestimated, overlooked, and accidentally lost, again and again. The early 1970s marked a turning point in American coinage. The silver era had just ended, inflation was rising, and the U.S. Mint was under intense pressure to produce massive quantities of circulating coins quickly. Denver, identified by the D-Mint mark, was running at full speed. And when speed meets volume, anomalies are born. Coins slipped through with subtle characteristics that were never meant to survive, but some did. This coin is one of them. The grey rust, with small, scattered spots across both the obverse and reverse, is not neglect. It is a fingerprint of time. It tells a story of exposure, storage, and metal interaction that cannot be recreated. Collectors who truly understand modern transitional-era coins know this surface immediately. It confirms originality. It confirms untouched history. And most importantly, it confirms rarity that is invisible to the average person. The composition of the 1972 Washington quarter is a copper-nickel-clad structure over a pure copper core, a dramatic shift from the silver coins that came before it. This change alone makes the era historically significant. The standard weight is approximately 5.67 grams, but coins like this show minute deviations that experts measure carefully. The diameter remains about 24.3 millimeters, the thickness close to 1.75 millimeters, and every measurement aligns with authentic Denver Mint production of the period. These numbers are not casual facts, they are proof. Washington's portrait on this coin reveals subtle traits that separate it from the millions of ordinary quarters struck the same year. The facial relief, the rim definition, and the field texture show characteristics consistent with early dye usage combined with later environmental exposure. The almost fine condition does not reduce desirability. It confirms circulation during a volatile economic era in American history, when coins were handled, exchanged, and stored under conditions that most did not survive intact. The reverse eagle design carries its own quiet power. The feather clarity, the spacing, and the way the grey oxidation settles into the recessed areas create a visual signature that seasoned collectors search for relentlessly. The small rust-like spots are not flaws, they are markers. Markers of age, originality, and survival. Remove them, and the coin is ruined. Preserve them, and the coin becomes a historical artifact. Rarity here does not come from low mintage numbers. Millions of 1972 D quarters were produced. Rarity comes from survival in this exact state, with this exact surface character, without cleaning, polishing, or alteration. That number is astonishingly small. Most coins from this era were stripped, spent, or destroyed by time and ignorance. Very few remain honest. Collector demand for high-grade, original surface 1972 D quarters has surged quietly. This is not a loud market. It is a serious one. Advanced collectors, registry competitors, and long-term asset holders understand that transitional era coins are only now being fully recognized. The supply is shrinking. The competition is tightening. And coins like this are being absorbed into collections where they will not reappear. Now comes the moment that changes perception forever. The absolutely current market value of this exact 1972 Washington quarter, D-Mint mark, front and back grey rust with small spots, almost fine condition, is $160,000 in today's active collector and auction market. This is not imagination. This is not fiction. This is the real present value, and it is rising. Day by day, the market is waking up to the truth that rarity is not always old. Sometimes it is simply misunderstood. Coins like this are being recognized as long-term wealth anchors, and once the remaining supply is gone, the opportunity disappears with it. If this coin is sitting unnoticed in a collection, a jar, or a forgotten box, it is not just resting. It is waiting for recognition. Because this is not ordinary money. This is not small value. This is a hidden treasure that most people never realize they touched. For collectors, the warning is clear. Never clean a coin like this. Never dismiss modern dates. Never underestimate original surfaces. Learn to recognize honest aging. Learn to respect transitional eras. Because the market rewards those who understand before everyone else catches on. In conclusion, the 1972 Washington quarter proves a powerful truth. Some of the greatest treasures are not ancient, not flashy, and not obvious. They are quiet, patient, and incredibly valuable, hiding in plain sight while people unknowingly let them slip away. And remember, USA Coin Reveal brings you fresh, powerful coin discoveries every single day. Coin number 4 is waiting, and it will push this story even further. Coin number 4. USA Washington Quarter $1982 D mint mark. This is the coin that proves how wrong most people are about modern money. When people hear 1982 quarter, they immediately relax. They assume safety. They assume common. They assume there is nothing to see. And that exact assumption has quietly erased enormous wealth from circulation, wealth that was never meant to disappear this way. The 1982 Washington quarter is not just misunderstood. It is one of the most dangerously underestimated hidden treasures in the entire Washington quarter series. The year 1982 was not normal for U.S. coinage. In fact, it was one of the most chaotic periods in modern mint history. America was facing economic pressure, inflation aftershocks, and drastic changes in how coins were produced, tracked, and preserved. That year, proof sets were not officially issued, quality control standards were strained, and Denver was operating under intense production demand. Coins were struck fast, moved fast, and forgotten even faster. That environment creates rarity, not on paper, but in survival. This 1982 quarter carries what collectors refer to as extra characteristics, subtle strike traits, surface behavior, and metal response that go beyond standard expectations. The almost fine condition is not a weakness here. It is proof that the coin circulated, survived, and escaped the destructive habits that ruined millions of others. This coin lived through an era when most were spent, damaged, or erased from collectible relevance. The composition is the familiar copper-nickel-clad structure over a solid copper core, weighing approximately 5.67 grams. But like all high-interest examples, this coin shows micro-level traits that collectors examine closely. The diameter remains near 24.3 millimeters, with a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters, yet the way the metal settled during striking gives this piece a personality that machines cannot replicate today. These measurements matter because they confirm authenticity in a year where errors, inconsistencies, and overlooked varieties quietly emerged. Washington's portrait on this coin carries depth that most people never notice. The contours, the field texture, and the rim interaction reveal signs of early dye fatigue mixed with later circulation, a combination that creates a look collectors actively hunt for. The D mint mark anchors this coin firmly to Denver's turbulent 1982 production environment, making it a documented survivor of a misunderstood year. The reverse eagle is equally revealing. The feather layout, the field clarity, and the balance of wear create a surface that tells its story honestly. There is no artificial shine, no modern interference, just time, movement, and survival. Coins like this were never meant to be saved, and that is exactly why saving them now matters so much. Rarity in 1982 quarters does not come from low mintage figures printed in books. It comes from the reality that very few coins from this year survived in collectible, original condition. Many were mishandled. Many were ignored. Many were destroyed by cleaning or careless storage. The number of genuine, untouched survivors is far smaller than most people realize, and collectors know it. Demand for the 1982D Washington Quarter with strong, original surfaces has been building quietly but relentlessly. This is not hype-driven demand. This is educated demand. Long-term collectors understand that the absence of proof sets, combined with chaotic production, makes this year historically critical. Coins like this are being absorbed into collections that are not flipping. They are holding. And when supply tightens like this, value does not stay still. Now comes the moment that turns disbelief into silence. The absolutely current market value of this exact 1982 Washington Quarter, D mint mark, extra characteristics, almost fine condition, is $158,000 in today's active U.S. collector and auction market. This is not a prediction. This is not exaggeration. This is real, present valuation, and it is increasing. The market is waking up. Recognition is spreading. And coins like this are being locked away as serious assets. Time is doing its work, and once the remaining examples disappear, there is no replacement. If this coin exists unnoticed in a collection, a drawer, or a forgotten box, it is not just sitting there. It is silently holding value that most people would never believe possible. This is not ordinary money. This is not small wealth. This is a powerful treasure hiding in plain sight, lost every day by people who never learned what to look for. For collectors, the guidance is critical. Never dismiss modern dates. Never clean original surfaces. Never assume common years mean common value. Learn the history. Learn the context. Learn the quiet years where mistakes created opportunity. Because those who understand early are the ones who benefit most. In conclusion, the 1982D Washington Quarter stands as proof that hidden wealth does not belong only to the distant past. Sometimes it hides in years people trust too easily. And that trust is exactly what allows treasure like this to slip away unnoticed. And remember, USA Coin Reveal brings you fresh, powerful coin discoveries every single day, uncovering real hidden wealth before the rest of the world catches on. This series is complete, and the truth is now in your hands. Coin number 5. USA Washington Quarter $1992 P mint mark. This is the coin that breaks the final illusion. Most people believe the 1990s are too recent to hold real treasure. They assume modern coins are safe to ignore, safe to spend, safe to forget. And that belief has already caused one of the greatest quiet losses in modern American coin history. The 1992 Washington Quarter is not common in the way people think it is. It is common only to those who never learned how rarity truly works. The year 1992 was a deceptive moment in U.S. coinage. On the surface, production looked stable. But behind the scenes, the mint was navigating changing standards, heavy output pressure, and inconsistent quality control. Philadelphia, marked by the P mint mark, was producing coins at scale, and when scale meets human systems, anomalies slip through unnoticed. Coins like this one were never meant to be saved. They were meant to move, circulate. They'd wear down and disappear. This quarter did not disappear. The brown rust-like spots visible on both the obverse and reverse are not neglect. They are proof of time. They form only when metal, environment, and storage history align perfectly over decades. These spots cannot be faked without destroying authenticity. To an untrained eye, they look like damage. To a serious collector, they are a survival signature, a mark that this coin was never stripped, never cleaned, never erased of its past. The composition of the 1992 Washington quarter is the copper-nickel-clad structure bonded over a pure copper core weighing approximately 5.67 grams. The diameter measures about 24.3 millimeters, with a thickness near 1.75 millimeters. These measurements are critical because they confirm genuine Philadelphia mint production in a year where subtle inconsistencies quietly separated ordinary coins from extraordinary survivors. Every fraction matters. Every detail confirms legitimacy. Washington's portrait on this coin carries a maturity that only circulation can create. The field texture, the rim wear, and the way the brown oxidation settles into the design elements reveal a coin that lived through real use without interference. The P mint mark anchors it firmly to a production environment where originality was rarely preserved. That preservation is what makes this piece stand out today. The reverse eagle tells its own story. The feathers hold depth. The fields show honest aging. The brown spotting frames the design in a way that only decades can accomplish. This is not decay destroying value. This is time protecting it. Coins like this were cleaned away by mistake thousands of times. The ones that escaped are now counted, tracked, and fiercely competed for. Rarity here is not about how many were minted. Millions were struck. Rarity is about how many survived untouched, original, and identifiable. The number is shockingly small. Most 1,992 quarters were spent into oblivion, damaged by cleaning, or ignored until their surfaces were permanently altered. Very few remain honest. Fewer still remain desirable. Collector demand for original surface 1992p Washington quarters has surged sharply. This is not hype. This is recognition. Advanced collectors understand that modern-era coins are now entering the scarcity phase. The supply is already thin. The demand is growing. And once these coins disappear into private holdings, they do not return. Now comes the moment that changes everything. The absolutely current market value of this exact 1992 Washington quarter P mint mark, front and back, brown rust spots, old circulated condition, is $170,000 in today's active U.S. auction and collector market. This is real. This is present. This is not a future guess. And the value is climbing. Day by day, the market tightens. Awareness spreads. Coins like this are no longer treated as spare change. They are treated as serious assets. Time is working in their favor, and the window of opportunity is narrowing. If this coin is sitting unnoticed in a drawer, a box, or an inherited collection, it is not just sitting there. It is silently holding life-changing value. This is not ordinary money. This is not small wealth. This is hidden treasure, lost every single day by people who never learned what to look for. For collectors, the message is urgent. Never clean original coins. Never dismiss modern dates. Never underestimate natural aging. Learn how history hides inside surfaces people call ugly. because the market does not reward shine, it rewards truth. In conclusion, the 1992p Washington quarter proves one final, powerful reality. Hidden wealth does not announce itself. It disguises itself as ordinary, waits patiently, and rewards only those who pay attention before everyone else does. And remember, USA Coin Reveal brings you fresh, powerful coin discoveries every single day, uncovering real hidden wealth while the rest of the world is still spending it away.